Of all the decorations that adorn the uniforms of the men and women of America's armed forces, there's one that stands out above all the rest. Reserved for those whose service embodies bravery, honor, and sacrifice, it's called the Medal of Honor, and it's the highest award America can confer, and it's the topic of tonight's Real History.
The Medal of Honor was established in 1861. The Medal of Honor was proposed by Senator James J. Grimes to promote efficiency in the Navy. The following year, the Army Medal of Honor was established as an award for heroism, and in 1917, both the Navy and the Army Medal of Honor became solely an award for conspicuous heroism above and beyond the call of duty in action against an enemy of the United States. Initially, it was not sure in how the American public, or more specifically, the members of the military, would react to an individual medal, because we thought of medals as being something that smacked of European aristocracy. It was the princes and the rich that were bedecked with numerous medals, and it fell very much to disuse because, again, American society was trying to shake off the trappings of Europe. During the Civil War, and in fact up until World War I, it was not uncommon for a soldier or a sailor to perform more than one action. The very first was Thomas Custer, the brother of George Armstrong Custer. With Custer, we have a Union officer leading his men into battle and went into the midst of the enemy and took their flag. There became a realization that America needed these heroes, and they were put on a pedestal and they were put out front. In the earliest days of World War II, a young man by the name of John Basilone, Manila John was how he was known, an enlisted Marine, earned the Medal of Honor at Guadalcanal. The Marine Corps brought him back to the United States, where he began doing war bond drives, tours to raise funds, a very, very important role. That hero role was one that Manila John, like most Medal of Honor recipients, shied away from, and Manila John wanted to go back, be with his own Marines, and in 1945 returned to combat, landing at Iwo Jima, where he was killed in action. Here is one of the greatest heroes of World War II being killed in action, and that created a reluctance among the military establishment to send Medal of Honor recipients back into combat that has remained intact to this day. To date, the Medal of Honor has only been awarded in history to one woman, Dr. Mary Edwards Walker, a contract surgeon to the Union Army during the Civil War. She served on the battlefields. She was even captured and held as a prisoner of war by the Confederate Army. One of her proudest moments was when she was repatriated and traded man for man, a sense of equality in the Union Army. We've lost that sense of who our heroes are. During World War II, 4 Medal of Honor recipients appeared on the cover of Life magazine. Many young people, in fact, probably most young people, couldn't name one of the 3 individuals who earned the Medal of Honor in Iraq or Afghanistan that's still alive. I'm very concerned, for instance, that there are only 3 living veterans of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan that the military says their heroism rose to Medal of Honor level. Perhaps most striking to me is that since 2000, nearly 50 Medals of Honor have been awarded. Only 10 of those to heroes in the current wars. But the bottom line on this is a generation of American warriors is being denied their own heroes by the failure of the military establishment to be able to find those heroes. One of the most striking examples is the case of Alwyn Cash. Alwyn Cash was a sergeant on a Bradley fighting vehicle in Iraq in 2006. It was hit by an IED. He was thrown clear. When he got clear, he found that his uniform was drenched in fuel. and inside that vehicle were 6 of his men trapped in the back of that Bradley. Alwyn Cash walked into those flames in a fuel-drenched uniform and stood there on fire as he pulled all 6 of his men out of that Bradley. When he was done, the eyewitnesses said there was nothing left except for charred skin and his bulletproof vest. 2 weeks later, he ultimately died of his burns. I have read virtually every one of the 3,476 Medal of Honor actions in history. I see similar actions in other wars that got the Medal of Honor. When I read Cash's story, it just totally moved me. It is the most striking example of a Medal of Honor action I have ever seen. What we see when we look at Medal of Honor recipients is a collection of individuals that every boy and girl in America can look at and find something to identify with. They can look at these people and say, and for all my failings, for all my problems, if they can do it, should I ever face that in my life, then I'm called upon to reach down inside and pull out of me some reserve of strength and courage and dedication to my comrades. I will find it there. That's the value that these heroes serve to us as a nation.